Good evening, friends, and welcome back to the Dinar Daily. If you're an investor, a currency watcher, or simply someone curious about where Iraq's economy is heading, you'll want to stay with me through this entire broadcast. What we heard today from Prime Minister Muhammad Shia al-Sudani could be one of the most significant updates in years regarding the future of the Iraqi dinar. Yes, you heard that right. The headline reads, "Breaking Update. Sudani confirms Iraq's central bank preparing dinar revaluation." This isn't speculation from the sidelines, it's coming directly from Iraq's top leadership. So grab your notes, because tonight we're breaking down what this means, why it matters, and how it could shape what's next for the dinar. Prime Minister Sudani's remarks have set the global dinar community buzzing. In his latest address, he confirmed that Iraq's central bank is actively preparing for what he called monetary adjustments in the coming period. He stressed that restoring confidence in Iraq's currency has now become a national priority. While he avoided using the exact word revaluation, the tone, timing, and phrasing of his message have many analysts convinced that major change could be on the horizon. When a sitting prime minister publicly discusses currency reform, it's not a small thing, it's a signal. And when that signal aligns with ongoing financial reforms and market shifts, it deserves attention. So, what exactly did he mean? Sudani's comments indicate that the central bank is in preparation mode, not just discussing reform, but actively structuring monetary steps to strengthen the dinar. This could mean a gradual series of policy changes aimed at stabilizing and potentially elevating the currency's value. It's worth noting that Iraq's leadership has spent years focusing on reducing dollar dependency, tightening banking oversight, and strengthening reserves. All of that sets the stage for something bigger. Now let's talk about what's driving this speculation. The government's clear push to phase out domestic use of the US dollar is one of the strongest signals yet. Every time a country redirects its economy to rely more heavily on its own national currency, it creates an environment that could support revaluation. Another indicator comes from Iraq's growing discussions about regional trade using local currencies, particularly in deals with neighboring countries. Moves like that tend to reflect long-term confidence in the local unit. Of course, it's important to be realistic. Sudani didn't announce a date or a specific rate. He didn't say, "We're revaluing the dinar tomorrow." Instead, he said preparations are underway. That word, preparations, tells us we're likely in the groundwork phase. A revaluation, especially one of this scale, isn't an overnight decision. It's a process involving multiple steps: strengthening reserves, building international confidence, and ensuring Iraq's economic base can sustain a stronger currency. So what could the timeline look like? If the central bank is genuinely preparing, it could take several months, or longer, before we see visible movement. Iraq's economy is deeply tied to oil revenues, and those revenues affect reserve levels, which in turn influence currency policy. That's why any change to the dinar's value will likely follow careful coordination with international markets and institutions. Let's put some perspective on the numbers. The current official exchange rate stands around 1,320 dinars per US dollar. If the dinar were to strengthen, even a modest adjustment, say to 1,000 dinars per dollar, would represent a major shift. More dramatic scenarios, such as 500 or 300 dinars to the dollar, would require not just policy reform, but major structural change in Iraq's economy. It's possible, but it's not guaranteed. There are, of course, hurdles ahead. Iraq's political and economic environment remains complex. Challenges like governance, infrastructure rebuilding, and managing oil dependence all play a role. The supply of dinars in circulation is another key factor. Too much liquidity can make it difficult to sustain a stronger rate. And as with any revaluation, there's a balance to strike between boosting purchasing power and maintaining export competitiveness. Still, when a leader like Sudani publicly links the central bank to preparations for currency reform, it carries weight. It suggests that Iraq is either ready to begin this process or is signaling intent to do so soon. Even if the statement's goal is partly to boost public confidence, it moves the narrative from rumor to semi-official discussion. And that's progress. The reaction across markets has been telling. Dinar investors, traders, and analysts are paying close attention. Whenever expectations of change rise, behavior follows. Banks start adjusting their liquidity positions. Importers and exporters reevaluate pricing strategies, and investors look for clues in trade policy and foreign reserves data. For Iraqi citizens, the potential implications are significant. A stronger dinar could improve purchasing power, making imported goods more affordable and helping reduce inflationary pressure. For businesses, it could cut costs tied to dollar-based transactions. For foreign investors, it raises both hope and caution. Hope for a stronger return, but caution because currency markets can swing fast and unpredictably. So what should viewers actually watch for? Keep an eye on a few key developments. Official central bank announcements about rate reviews, any mention of rate denomination or removing zeros, visible increases in foreign currency reserves, or formal trade deals denominated in dinars instead of dollars. Those are the real indicators of movement, not rumors or online chatter. As we all know, this isn't the first time revaluation talk has surfaced. The dinar story has been surrounded by speculation for years, often exaggerated by online hype. That's why it's critical to separate fact from fantasy. Yes, this time feels different because the words are coming from the Prime Minister himself, but it's still essential to stay grounded and analytical. The responsible way to approach this is with cautious optimism. Stay informed through credible sources, monitor official updates, and avoid jumping on hype-driven promises of overnight wealth. Treat dinar holdings as speculative, not guaranteed. Liquidity, conversion access, and timing all matter far more than online theories. What makes 2025 particularly interesting is the alignment of several forces. Iraq's economic reforms are maturing, oil markets are stabilizing, and regional trade patterns are shifting away from the US dollar. Combine that with Sudani's statement, and we may be witnessing the groundwork for a serious currency adjustment. The coming months could reveal whether Iraq is ready to make that leap, or whether it's still laying the foundation. For investors, this is a period to watch closely. Avoid rash decisions, but pay attention to signs, especially those green flags like central bank statements, higher reserves, or new trade frameworks. Conversely, red flags like continued high liquidity, inconsistent policy messaging, or lack of follow-through would suggest more waiting ahead. At the end of the day, what matters most is policy execution. Iraq's leadership appears to recognize that public trust in the dinar is essential. That recognition in itself is progress. Whether it results in a full revaluation or gradual strengthening, this could be a defining moment for Iraq's financial future. So, to sum up tonight's big story, Prime Minister Sudani has confirmed that Iraq's central bank is preparing monetary adjustments aimed at boosting the dinar's stability and confidence. This is not a random rumor. It's a clear statement of intent from the highest level of government. But it's still early days. The details, timing, and scale of any potential revaluation remain uncertain. If you're following the dinar story, now is the time to stay alert, stay informed, and stay realistic. Monitor official channels, track economic indicators, and approach all predictions with care. The opportunity is there, but so is the risk. And that wraps up tonight's report from the Dinar Daily. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with others who follow the dinar developments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Do you think the revaluation is finally coming in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update, right here on the Dinar Daily.